Welcome to the Porsche Club Insider, your one stop for all things Porsche and PCA. Here's your host, Vu Nguyen, and the Insider crew.
Well, greetings from Porsche's training facility in Easton, Pennsylvania, episode 50 of Porsche Club Insider. I'm here at the table with Manny Albin, Damon Lowney. We have a special guest, Kristoff, from all the way from AG to join us with Tech Tactics East this weekend. And then, of course, Robert Forsyth decided to take the trek with us as well, because honestly, if he wasn't here, none of this would be happening.
Well, yeah, Robert's amazing how he can make anything work wherever. Just give him a 110 outlet and some wires, and he's MacGyver. But are we in the coolest place we've done the podcast yet? I mean, the hotel room was pretty decent. We were in this little hotel room, Kristoff. It looked like they were filming an X-rated movie. It was a couch and some other stuff. But anyways.
Manny is riding that line. He's about to be censored.
I usually get edited anyhow. So, this training facility is phenomenal, and I wish more listeners and members could visit this. We're going to have about 250 members coming through in the next 2 days. But they have so many cool things between the tools we've seen, the cutaways, $70,000 GT2 RS motor. Damon was trying to figure out how you could stick it into his Camry, take it home and put it in the Cayman.
Exactly.
And let's not forget all the cool cars that's sitting around us right now.
Well, right behind us.
There's a GT3 next to us, the 911 Dakar, and then one wall over is a GT3 RS, and then
Oh,
more.
my God, yeah.
We haven't been here since spring of 2020. That little thing called COVID
It
got in
wasn't
the
even
way.
spring; it was February.
Yeah.
So before, right a couple weeks before the pandemic hit the U.S. and shut everything down.
Oh, but it feels so good to be back in the crew here. They roll out the red carpet for PCA and its members, and thank you to them for hosting us. And, you know, this is also good for us to, like you said earlier, the last time we did something mobile like this was in a little hotel room outside of West Coast Customs, but this is how it really should be. This is cool.
Oh, yeah, I would love to be able to do
So
podcasts.
do you think we'll be able to take this setup to Ren Sport?
Okay, yeah, Robert's giving thumbs up, so he says yes. Anything's possible with the wire.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can snake it over top of the track and get to the main Wi-Fi feed.
So, Kristoff, we just finished wrapping a very short video. He's going to go into details of the Dakar over the weekend, but we just wrapped up a little bit about the painting the livery on these cars. It's not standard.
It is not. It's the first time that we applied something like that on the car. It's a two-tone painting and decorative fall. A lot of craftsmanship, a lot of manual process. So yeah, we are very proud of it.
So share with our listeners your responsibility with regards to the liveries for these vehicles.
So my part in the department is I'm like a specialist in product management for exclusive manufacture vehicles, but it's not only about the limited vehicles, but also about overall packages for limited vehicles, like the rally design package for the 911 Dakar. So my job mainly is about the product definition and development, and therefore always the question in mind, what distinguish the package or also like the limited vehicle from the standard model. And moreover, like all sales parameters in regards to the volume and also the price positioning, for example.
So I got to say, you probably have one of the coolest jobs. I mean, so I'm assuming your office sits in Works 1?
It's
or are you at
5? It's 5
You're
at
5.
the moment.
Okay, because I know Exclusive has the showroom at Works 1.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, so you go through there quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute walk.
For inspiration for all of your work.
I mean, we have a great showroom there. Also have the 911 Dakar right now there and GT3 RS. So it's always worth to take a short walk over to the showroom.
And you get to work with our close friend Boris.
Exactly.
Yes. Hello, Boris.
It's his boss.
True.
So say nice things about Boris.
Yeah, we can talk about what Boris came up with the name for this livery because they couldn't say Rothmans.
I like number 2 choice better.
We'll have to say that over a beer. We can't talk about the number 2 choice. All right, so before we get into news and videos and such, how was everyone's week or weekend?
I think we had a pretty exciting week. I got to drive a Sport Classic, which was unexpected.
You got to drive it?
Yes. It's,
we got to follow it.
a friend told us he was going to be purchasing one, so I asked him if we could film the pickup, and so he said I'm taking my '68 911 to there because I'm hoping they can sell it for me, since the dealership wants to become a classic dealer, and so we filmed him basically taking the one 911 to '68 to the dealer and picking up another one and bringing that home. And so we stopped for lunch, and then he had told me if I wanted to, I could drive it back to his house. So I got to drive it for about 15 minutes maybe.
So getting a Sport Classic is like getting the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Did he share with you how that happened, or can we say how that happened?
My understanding was a 918 Circle owner ordered it, but then canceled it. But the car had already been manufactured and arrived at the dealer. And the sales manager or general manager asked Porsche if they could give it to another customer instead, because usually you got to send it back.
Oh.
And I guess Porsche agreed. And this customer is a very good customer of the dealership. He buys a lot of cars. So he jumped on it. He wanted a Sport Classic ever since he saw it at Parade. Mm-hmm. But it was impossible to get an allocation.
Yeah, he actually did share. It's not really even a secret about how he gets allocations like these or a car like this. It's more about just treating the dealership and its employees how you'd want to be treated, and showing a bit of loyalty and going to that same dealership so they can sell the cars that you've bought. It's a certified pre-owned, and that big circle. And he benefited by getting that Sport Classic.
A little bit from our confessions with the Porsche salesman, talking about maintaining that relationship with your dealer. And as you said,
you don't need a 918.
Yeah, you just need to be loyal and be a good customer. And when opportunities like that, hopefully, your name comes to mind.
Kristoff, did you bring some allocations in your back pocket? You can hand out
that is a tradition.
You'll become very popular.
That is a tradition at Tech Tactics.
Nobody
no one told you? No one filled you in on that?
Unfortunately,
oh, man. Fail.
They'll all go to the dealer and say, Kristoff said I could have an allocation.
So I saw there was a Cayenne Platinum edition parked in the front of the office. I didn't get to drive it.
Yeah, I tried. It was such a busy week. But yeah, we had a Cayenne Platinum, a 2022 model. They're still available for 2023 model year as well. We had a base Cayenne. Just to be clear, a Platinum Edition can also be a Cayenne S or an E-Hybrid, but we had the base. And we had actually asked Porsche that, if you have a base car or a base SUV, we'd love to drive it, because we just don't feel like they get enough love in the mainstream media. So we had that 335 horsepower
in a base car?
Cayenne Platinum, 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. And it felt like a Cayenne Turbo until you got on the gas. So quick, but not that quick. But, leather interior, very few options, nice satin platinum RS Spider design wheels, satin platinum accents. If you want to feel like you're in a Turbo S, but don't want to spend, the $150,000, $160,000 that it'll cost, not a bad choice.
So because it's a Cayenne, it is not PDK, it's Tiptronic, correct?
Yeah, it's correct. Tiptronic, it's the 8-speed. I love that transmission. It wasn't quite as good as in the Turbo GT, but I'm guessing Porsche maybe paid a little more attention to the tuning in a car like that.
Yeah.
And the GTS. Not quite sure. I'll have to ask some of the product specialists to see if
But
there's
it would
a
make
difference.
90% of the people out there very happy.
Exactly.
So
You're not giving up much.
Yeah.
So that base, quote unquote base, 6-cylinder turbo?
Yeah, a single turbo, 3-liter V6, 335 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque, and it's like just under 4,600 pounds with no option, so it's probably a little over.
Those numbers crush my 06 Cayenne S. I mean,
it's
I
lighter,
love
more
the sound of my
horsepower.
V8, but I get 12 to 50 miles to the gallon on a good day, and it's not as fast as
15 going downhill, maybe.
Yeah, I still have to add up, what the mileage was, but it got better than that.
That's a great car. It looks sharp. I just wish I had some time to drive it. And we already returned it.
Already returned it. It's a great car. It really makes you wonder, why do you need to go buy something more than a Cayenne Platinum.
And I get the packaging of a Macan. It's sort of like everybody loves how well packaged that is in terms of size and power and handling and such. But I think maybe because I'm more of a family person, I think overall the Cayenne is a better value. This offers more space, offers more towing capacity. I don't know. It's to me more SUV like.
Yeah, it definitely feels more SUV like. I would almost say a Macan is, maybe your early 30s, your GTI is coming up, on at the end of its lease, and you want something new.
No.
A Macan can fill that spot really nicely. A Cayenne might be, if you have a wife and a kid or two, maybe if they're 5-10 years old, a little bit older, maybe you step up to the Cayenne.
Two kids max.
Yeah.
In a Macan?
In a Macan, I don't know if they'd fit.
In the
Maybe.
Cayenne.
In the Cayenne,
you
yeah.
have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids, and I
You
stuck.
cannot put 3 kids in one row.
I did.
That's
My
World
kids
War
did.
III. It's like
My-
putting Putin and Kim Jong-il and Joe Biden all in the same row.
My kids all got along in the same row. No problem.
Yeah. What kind of car do you drive back in Germany?
Until last year it was a 911, but at the moment I'm waiting impatiently for the summer because I ordered a 718 Boxster.
Oh,
And
nice.
so this will be the first time with a convertible for me. So,
And he doesn't have to worry about putting anybody in the back seat.
No.
But he's available, ladies.
There you go. That's a new segment on Porsche Club Insider.
The Bachelor.
Who's
PCA.
available?
Not available.
Not available.
Not available.
Oh, we don't get Kristoff in trouble. We just said he was available. He's not available, ladies and gentlemen. So I was actually, did something kind of fun and kind of work related, but it was more work related. We were together with PCA's national volunteers in Jacksonville. This is a meeting that we've been putting off because we had originally planned for it in 2020, and finally was able to get back to Jacksonville for this meeting, National Staff Assembly, where the heads of all the different committees come together, the Executive Council comes together and just sort of runs through 2023, all the goals and objectives, and is really launches 2023 for PCA. So that was, that was work, and as you would imagine, lots of meetings for 2 days. We were stuck inside of a hotel, but one of the evenings we got to do something very special, which was to visit the Brumos collection. I think I have some photos of that, and I had been there before. It's been a couple of years, but man, if you are down in Jacksonville and you get the opportunity to swing by the Brumos collection, for any Porsche enthusiast, it's a must-do. And Manny knows probably more about all the cars that are there than any of us here. But, we played that game last time we were together about which car you would pick if you had all the money. Well, of course, when we were in the museum, people were like, oh, so what would be the one car you would take? And, of course, I'm going to lean towards the Porsche side, and I picked that very special 959. I think Manny knows what that car is.
It used to belong to Dr. Helmut Bott,
yes.
the former research and development chief for Porsche. This cool story from that I remember being told, was on the front license plate there's a little red tab, and that's supposed to indicate, I was told that only a few people had license plates with that tab on it, and that told the guards at the front entrance at the factory that this was a very special person, and they would immediately open the door, and the car did not have to stop. They would immediately go through, and maybe like 5 people had that, and Dr. Bott was
So
one of
Dr. Bott, Kristoff.
them. So you want to go put a little red tab, you can try that out. Let us know if
Let
it
us
works
know.
or not.
And if you
Those
need,
golden
if you
times
need,
in the past.
if you need bail money, just give us a call. I do want to report back. So Mr. Naysayer, I'm looking at Manny, Mr. Naysayer, when we were talking about wheel cleaning. So many of you chimed in to the last episode sharing tips of cleaning the brake dust hard.
This is Honda minivan wheels.
This is
he's talking
yeah.
about.
So this is
Not
what
Porsche
we're
wheels.
testing first. We're testing first. So on my 08 Honda Odyssey, on some of the wheels in the deep recesses, I have like baked on brake dust. And normally, I'm not too worried about it, but I don't know. I just washed the car recently, and I'm like, man, I wish I could get that off. So we were talking about that in our last podcast, and some people mentioned wheel acid. They mentioned a couple other things, but I had 3.
Nobody mentioned oven cleaner.
So he said, so what did I do when I got back after that podcast? I started looking up, different things, and somehow Easy Off oven cleaner. And I don't know if they have Easy Off in Germany, but it's like to clean your home oven. You spray it, you let it sit, and then you wipe it off. Anyways,
The stuff you don't want to really have on like aluminum, I'm pretty sure.
You
So-
know what? It's probably so toxic. I bet you Germany's smart and they won't allow it. Meanwhile, we're just inhaling it. Then we're cooking with it.
hello, I got the lemon scent one.
I used the lemon scent one when I baked off all the carbon buildup on my Camry's intake manifold
See,
in my
so
oven.
you used Easy Off.
Yeah.
So,
I did.
all right, so here's what I did have. So, Man's like, are you just going to go straight to the Easy Off? I'm like, no, of course. I had other things. There's a photo. Do you have the photo, Robert? No, not that, of the different wheel cleaners. So, I happened to have Meguiar's Wheel Brightener, which was one of them. And then I had someone said Purple Power was another.
That's strong, too.
Purple Power degreaser.
That probably didn't do the job, but that's strong.
Purple Power degreaser,
degreaser.
and then Easy Off. So I literally took I went to one of the wheels and I used each spoke a different product. I did this all for PCA members so they can see what would happen. And so so I started off. Now, timing wise, this was like in the morning before work, so it wasn't like I'm going to spend a whole lot of time with it. I said I've got like 15, 20 minutes. Let's see if any of this stuff takes it off. So 3 sections of the wheel, I sprayed Easy Off because I knew that one probably needed to sit on the wheel a little bit longer. So I sprayed Easy Off on it, and then I sprayed Purple Power on it, and then I sprayed the Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. I just let it sit there and soak for about maybe 5-10 minutes or so. And then I took a heavy nylon brush and a toothbrush, and I started agitating it all. And lo and behold, maybe Easy Off needs to sit on it longer, but Easy Off wasn't the miracle product that I thought
Maybe
it
you
would
had
be.
to put bacon.
I was going to say you got to put the wheel in the oven.
I don't know.
Should add heat to it, maybe.
I don't know.
Bake it for like 45 minutes.
The Purple Power started to work, and I was like, oh, maybe that's the answer. But it turns out the Meguiar's Wheel Brightener, after agitating it, took 90%. And again, I probably could take 100% of it off, but I didn't have enough time.
So did it take the grime off, or did it make it brighter?
That's right, because you guys said it's probably ruined underneath, and when you take the brake dust off, you're just going to have raw metal. No, it was beautiful underneath the brake dust. And that particular spoke now
So
looks
now you
brand
have one
new.
great looking spoke, and the other ones look like crap because you didn't.
That is correct.
The
So I
Purple
have-
Power will stain your finish.
Purple Power took some of the stuff off.
Was
Like
it 100% or diluted?
Purple Power, 100%.
Yeah, that's-
The Wheel Brightener I did 4-1. So I'm thinking the next time
You
I
squirt
do
that
it,
stuff on your hands, it
I
like
use
dries
gloves.
the oils out.
I use gloves. So the next time around, I'm gonna do maybe a little bit heavier concentration of this Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. Our buddy Paul Gentili, he loves it when we say his name in the podcast, so that I made sure I said it. But he happens to have wheel acid, so I'm going to try wheel acid next to see how.
You'll be missing a spoke.
Right.
But the surface underneath all the brake dust looks beautiful. See, and you said it couldn't be done. It's beautiful underneath.
I want to see the wheel.
I have photos of it. I'm sure Robert's going to put it in there once we produce it all. So anyways, just want to report back on the wheel cleaner. It is possible. It will take me a long time to do all 4 wheels. But
I'm not really impressed with that. But you know what I was impressed with?
What?
And I don't know if you're going to bring this
oh, yeah,
up
the
later.
spot free?
That I was wrong.
Oh, yeah. See, another
That's
Mr.
what I
Naysayer.
did.
So we have a PCA member that happens to rep this company, and we'll throw it up here, that does spot-free rinse system. It looks like a big 55-gallon drum. On top of it, it has a filtration system. So what you do is you hook it up to your water source, and overnight it fills that 55-gallon drum. And then that drum actually has a pump in it. So you could actually just take the drum to wherever and wash your car, or you could hook it up to your pressure washer, da-da-da. So the whole idea is it removes all the calciums, contaminants of your water. So when you wash it, if it happens to dry while you're washing it, or if you wash and sponge and then rinse, and then do your final rinse with it, and just walk away. You don't have to dry the car. And so Manny there, Mr. Naysayer, is like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. But I said, well, can I borrow your Z3? Because we want to take it, do it to his car, or maybe the Camry or something like that before we try it on a nice car. And we did on his car. His car is tiny, so it took us like 2 minutes to wash it. He hoses it all down, and it was a pretty sunny day.
It was very bright.
It was a very bright, sunny day. And we're like, okay, let's just walk away. We went back to work, and about an hour later, we came back. Beautiful.
Nothing.
Not a
the
single,
glass, everything was very
not
impressive.
a single spot.
I was
It
very
impressive.
skeptical. But you always see these things that say, oh, you don't have to dry it, and then you come back and there's big water spots. But
Yeah, and I think it's key for, especially if you wash your car in warmer climates, it's not the end rinse that is, for me, probably the magic of it all. The fact that you can wash your car with it, because how many times are you washing your car and by the time you get to the back end, the front end is already dry? That's when the water spot is forming, and even if you go back with water, it's not going to get rid of that water spot, right? So this whole time you're using water that doesn't spot.
well, we haven't figured out what it costs yet.
On the website, I saw the system that we're using. It's about $900,
Okay.
and it's not bad. I mean, that big old drum, and I think the filter lasts a year or so, and the filter's only like $30, $40 or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty darn cool. I have a deionizer sort of system similar to it that Griot's Garage sells, and it comes in it's sort of like an inline filter, and I've used that as well, and it worked. I've always loved that. But yeah, this was a new one, and it's very simple. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Let's talk about Kristoff and why you're here at Tech Tactics. Manny had some questions for you.
Yes.
That's because we didn't print them out. Can't remember. So actually, Tech Tactics, for those who haven't been listening to the podcast, is 2 one-day events, and it's a series of nothing but tech seminars, and it's very popular with our members. And this year, we're actually going to be recording several of the episodes and broadcasting them on YouTube. We're going to have 2 live episodes, and then Kristoff's is going to be recorded and released probably in a couple weeks. Same thing with Michael Tam and the GT3 RS. So it's going to be pretty exciting stuff. And, of course, Porsche AG Germany sent you all the way over here to lovely Pennsylvania in the great weather we're having. Very similar to Germany, so you feel
We wanted to
ready.
make sure you felt at home.
Yes. And he's going to talk. He came to talk to us about the 911 Dakar, but especially the rally package, and that's what the Exclusive does. And it's fascinating to hear everything that goes on behind the scenes of how this package was created, and how the paint job. We did a video earlier today talking about the paint job. But I guess first, how long have you been with Porsche?
I think it was in 2015 when I did my internship in the same department where I work today. So only the number of the colleagues was a little bit smaller the year back. And since 2017, so for 6 years now, I'm working full-time at Porsche, and had the first products under my own responsibility, such as the exclusive manufacture leather interior, for example. So the 2-tone color combination for the 911 models. I think the total color combination is like 60. So that was a cool project that I started from the beginning with the white paper and brought to the end. Now I'm working as a specialist in product management, for such packages like the one we will talk about on the weekend.
So this 911 Dakar was I guess a big shock to a lot of people because especially here in America, they don't associate, the Porsche enthusiasts do, but non-enthusiasts don't associate the 911 with off-road or rallying, because here in the U.S. there isn't really a lot of rallying like there is in Europe. But Porsche's history really goes back along from the beginning to rallies. So this isn't something that was just marketing. This is really part of Porsche's history, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Porsche as a brand stands for the tradition and the successful not only racing history but also rally history, and that is why I think that it's really important to transfer these successful factors to to the time now. And I think it was like 10 years ago, almost 11 years ago, in 2012, when two colleagues built a prototype and said, hey, it would be a nice idea to have the historical character combined with the technology of today. But unfortunately, back at that time, they didn't get the permission to start the project, but after a while, they were allowed to do so. And then after a short while again, they asked our department to came up with a package that has a strong reference to the successful rally history, and that is why we are choosing the year 1984 with the Ruffman's color scheme. And I think that this is something like really important to transfer and to talk about when you have such a strong tradition. And this is also, I think, fascinating for all the markets then.
For when you say all the markets, that's another curious thing. What market do you think is going to buy this, is going to be most popular with? When you think of off-road, I think of the Middle East.
I think Southern California, going to the desert on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the customer, the way he's or she's using the car. But I hope that a lot of customers really choose the car as it is communicated, because the development and testing of the chassis is the car definitely can do what you can see on in the communication, and there are two driving modes, the rally and off-road mode, and I think those modes want to be used. So I hope that there are a lot of customers that really choose the car in a proper way.
I know it was announced 2,500 cars I think were going to be built, but we also read where I believe it was Oliver Blume announced that it was going to be more than just this car, that they're going to make more off-road 911s. Is that something you'll think
I see a bead of sweat coming down Kristoff's head.
Yeah.
Well, it's not secret. It's not secret. We read it.
No, I know what you mean.
We read it. It was just. I'm not telling you, asking you to tell us what model, but just. I guess your personal opinion is this. You think this is a pretty cool direction to take the 911s? It's not like all 911s are going off road. It's
right.
just like another option, another opportunity for buyers.
Well, I mean, look at Ford Raptors, right? I mean, those things are also built for the off road. And yes, there are people that do take their Raptors, and go jumping berms and stuff like that. But the vast majority of people that have Raptors have silly wheels on them, and they're going to the mall, or they're just going, commuting in them, right? So I would think, yeah, you can come up with all these different options, but they won't necessarily be putting them in a big, sand.
But when Porsche developed this car, they developed it seriously to go off.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just something they think is
I know.
look pretty, but we're
For
never
sure.
taking it off road. It's a.
I'm just saying the people that buy them aren't necessarily going to use them for that.
That's going to be interesting to see in the end
Yeah.
who the market is. What
Yeah.
market really buys it? Is it more American? Is it overseas that buys the car? I know the first wave of them will be people who want to have something different.
Right.
Who want to be the first to have the off-road 911, if you will.
I would say, because it's my guess, it still would be the U.S. market would be the largest by far to consume these cars, because it's a little. He's just smiling.
You got to really
I love
examine his facial expressions to see what can we get.
If there's two wrinkles on his forehead, then that means it's a yes. If there's one wrinkle, it's a no.
So
we're not going to put you on the spot, because I know we would want to know which rally package is ordered more often. Which
Well, they should be
livery.
able to, they can't tell us that right now because you don't know. But once they're sold, they should be able to tell us which rally
won't.
package.
They won't.
I bet you it gets out.
It
There's
might
enough-
get out,
there-
but because you know how many people call the office.
I know
how
that.
many people have my particular color with this option with this da da da. I'm
we
like,
get that. We get that a lot.
We get that a lot in
We've been
office.
told from Germany they don't understand why Americans are so fascinated with
Yeah.
knowing how many they built of a certain. It's just a color. They want to
No.
know
Yeah.
how many of this interior, how many of this option, how many of this option.
They're basically telling you enough so that you can just say it's one of one, and then you
have
tell
it
them it's
right.
one
Yeah.
of one, and then they're happy.
Okay.
So yes, mine's the only one that is gentian blue with manual steering and non-sunroof and Pepita inserts. Yes, there's only one of those, and then they go away happy.
You know, it was cool. We were, they were. I guess they're obviously prepping the car for the 2 events, Saturday and Sunday. But there was these little covers, and they pulled them out of the box that's behind us, and they said, "What's this for?" They asked Kristoff, "What's this for?" He said, "It's the cover for the roof rack."
The spotlights that are on top.
Spotlights that can land an airplane. They're so bright. Because in Germany you're not allowed to have that visible. I guess the lights.
They have
While
to be
driving,
covered.
exactly.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
driving, yep.
And somebody said in the United States is like that too, but no one cares.
Yeah. Everyone takes them off their
No one
cars.
keeps them. They turn them on. This morning on the way to work, I had somebody. I'm like, really, dude? You're blinding me just because you can't see.
He must have been driving fast.
Huh?
He must have been driving fast.
So I thought that was pretty cool that they have to put the covers on.
Yeah, absolutely.
By law. But the roof rack, that was all part of exclusive design too?
It's equipment offer,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's equipment,
So, yeah,
okay.
exactly. So it's also an optional offer that you can order for the Dakar.
But then with that car, you have to have some sort of special harness or plug by the antenna in the back for the power for the lights, right?
Exactly. You have a button inside the car so that you can turn on the lights.
And the wiring goes through the roof.
Exactly.
You know, I guess I'm assuming it's a sealed and protected, so you don't get moisture up. Very cool. So how did you're a pretty young fella. I can say that now. Can we say that when we're old? Fella?
He's young compared to you. Yeah.
Yes. So I can call you a fella. So how long did you dream? Did you always know you wanted to land at Porsche? And
So back in the days, really when I was like a small kid, I was always interested in sports cars. I think I was 10 when I was collecting those data sheets from sports cars already. And my father was working for a car company his whole life, so I think that was also something that influenced me.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So I started an apprenticeship as a car mechatronic engineer, coming from Berlin, my hometown. And but after a while, I thought, okay, maybe it's a little bit. I was more interested in the decision making and product development and product defining. And that is why I thought or decide that I have to study. So I study business administration and engineering, and made another decision to move to Stuttgart. And this is something you can believe me, for someone who grew up in Berlin, this is really a big step.
Yes, I bet.
So, and yeah, Porsche was always a brand that fascinated me. So that was the reason why I moved to Stuttgart then.
Wow, that's awesome.
So how is it a big step? I'm curious. I've never been to Germany actually. So
Berlin
So
to
I'm-
Stuttgart is a huge
It's
difference.
620 kilometers.
Gotcha.
The family and friends, everybody's in Berlin.
Okay,
I grew
yeah.
up there, 25 years in Berlin.
But you,
Yeah.
you took that step for your career, and
Exactly.
it's paid off, and the
Exactly.
opportunities, right? So, wow,
But
very
it's,
cool.
it's a different culture from Berlin to Stuttgart?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
more laid back in Stuttgart, or is it
Uh,
just as busy, just not the same sort of busy?
He loves both families.
Yeah, of course. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Oh man. So what's next after this? Are you gonna follow this car around, or what's the next project for you that you can share?
I'm working on a limited vehicle right now.
What's it called?
What is
Don't
it
laugh.
about?
If you laugh, he knows he's not supposed to say
See,
it.
I'm just saving us editing time later, because if you slip, I gotta edit it. So he's always fishing for stuff.
Yeah.
Trust me, don't sit next to him at dinner. He'll start feeding you drinks or something and try to get everything he can out of you.
No, I mean, there's always really cool stuff going on in our department, and I am again in three further projects at the moment. Another package for a limited vehicle, another limited vehicle, and so yeah.
What
stay
I
tuned.
find fascinating, and it's always such fun to work with Boris and Exclusive, because when we've had the opportunity, Manny and I have been on special projects for PCA cars. They always come to us asking, so what would you like? And we look at them, we go, we like what you can't tell us, because we don't know. You guys are, you just mentioned with the car, that was something that they dreamt about 10 years ago, right? And of course we know how sort of the rally scene has kind of been big for us here in the United States, but that predates all of that stuff, right? So you get the insight of what's to come over the next decade. I'm sure you already know how things will be applied to vehicles, electrified vehicles, and all that kind of stuff, and that's the schedules. And don't get nervous. I'm not going to ask for many details, but I just think that's cool that
Absolutely.
that you get to be a part of all
Absolutely.
that before the rest of the world hears.
And I think always or sometimes difficult to keep it by yourself.
Yeah. You have to make sure
Because
you
it's-
realize
it's
who you're
so-
talking
yeah.
to, and it's not Manny. Don't worry, we have NDAs signed as well.
Somewhere I signed them.
Yeah. But the other thing that's cool is, the Porsche as a manufacturer still has the time and the energy and the passion to create products such as that, as opposed to just simply focusing on the future, where a lot of other manufacturers are just purely kind of turning the table and just going all EV, or going a different direction that's maybe mass marketing their brand so that they can sell as many individual units as possible. Porsche is big, but as compared to other car companies, they're still a small car company and making very special things, and very, I would say, a true homage to its tradition and its history, such as Dakar. Yeah,
So
Absolutely.
Exclusive as itself is an incredible department
yeah.
where you can
Whatever
have
you want,
anything
whatever
pretty
you
much
want.
made.
Yeah.
It's that's what makes so many Porsches one of ones, because they have so many unique options. When you get into those three magic letters, so it's CXX.
No.
That's really stuff that odds are wherever you go, you won't have someone else with a CXX option like the one you had.
So Exclusive was in Works 1 for quite. So it was the showroom is in Works 1, but then the assembly was like on the other side of where the Taycan plant is now for a while, right? It was over there, but now you have a whole new facility that is not only larger, state of the art, but a lot more room to create these very unique vehicles.
Absolutely, yeah. There's another place where those vehicles done, not only the Porsche Exclusive Manufaktur, but also another place for especially those CXX options.
Wow, so there's a
Yes.
level above
Yeah.
Porsche Exclusive.
Yeah.
Have we ever been there? The CXX room?
You have not. But I'll share with you.
When I go to Germany, you got to take me there.
Absolutely.
So this is a new term that I learned about in my last visit, and it's nothing proprietary to Porsche Exclusive, but it's a unique term that once you take delivery of your car, you go through this little room, and then you have a very unique experience that's sort of like an extra above-the-top, cherry-on-top experience before you actually leave the building. And it was called something like Lollipop Moment, or what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
What's it called? Is it called Lollipop or
it's-
Popsicle Moment?
Popsicle moment.
It's a popsicle moment. Have you ever heard of this, Manny? Damon?
I'm afraid to, because I'll get edited. But what is Popsicle?
It's called a popsicle moment. And I think it's a case study. I think it's a case study in probably most business schools, which may be later than when I went to business school, but it's a popsicle moment. So you've just gone through taking delivery of your car. It could not possibly be better than what you're going through, and finally you're going to get in your car, and Porsche's like, that's not the end, my friend. When you go through these doors, we're going to give you an extra special popsicle moment. And they have a room that you drive through that's lights and music and dancing, and it's pretty cool. And it's just like to accentuate
That's what I think happens when you die.
your popsicle moment.
It better be. What's the opposite of Popsicle moment?
Could popsicle moment be when you go to Five Guys and they put too many fries in your bag,
Have you
and
been
that's
to
just a
Five
little
Guys
bit of
yet?
extra fries?
Kristoff's like, not exactly the same. No, but like they really plan this, right? Like they tailor it to the customer, like what kind of music, and it's again, it's so cool to think that.
Did you take your picture like they do at Splash Mountain? You know, when you come through,
I think they do actually. I think they
you
have.
can buy like 5x8s at the gift shop.
Yeah. So again, just to be able to work for a manufacturer that does stuff that's over the top in product, but then also in the experience, and when you think it couldn't be any better, they throw another layer on top of it. That's pretty
I've
cool.
got the name for this podcast. The
Popsicle?
Popsicle moment.
Popsicle moment. So we will now have popsicle moments in our podcast. And those of you that are listening from AG, that was like really cool for me to figure, or you guys share that with me. That was
But you
pretty
didn't
cool.
actually experience the popsicle moment.
No, I went. Yeah. I didn't.
Sounds like
think
you had to watch somebody else experience it.
No,
right?
I didn't even watch someone else experience
no.
it. I just went through the room where the
I see.
popsicle
So
moment
basically, you
happened.
got to hang out there and wait till someone's single going through.
So,
then jump
so,
in.
so this popsicle moment is just with T-Equipment, or not T-Equipment, but exclusive delivery. I think in their meetings, in their meetings at AG, let's say they have a staff meeting, I think someone's assigned to be in charge of the popsicle moment for that particular meeting. Am I saying the truth, Kristoff? Am I right, or have you not heard of this?
Not really.
Not really. There are some departments, maybe not your department, that there's someone in charge of popsicle moments.
He's looking at you like we don't drug test at PCA.
What do you think, Robert? Maybe we'll have a popsicle moment at PCA next week.
Yeah, we're getting a thumbs up.
All right, so man, we are blowing through time here. Let's talk about the videos that we released. I liked the 993 1 mile review. That was on Angeles Crest, right, Damon?
Yeah, I'm having so many. It's been a blur the past month, I feel like. But yeah, so 996 or 993 Carrera 1 mile review. Great car. I gave it what did I give it? I think it was an 8 for fun factor. A lot of people said, "Oh, you said it was so great." Well, here's the thing, like, it's tough to give. You're on the spot. You're there. You've just driven it, possibly for the first time, and you have to give a rating. I think 8 definitely sums that car up. It has all the mods that I like and everything. It handles really well. It rides well. It looks good. It's not so nice that you feel bad about driving it, in the rain or something like that. That's the kind of car I like. That's how
agree.
my Cayman is. But I would give my Cayman an 8. I wouldn't give my Cayman a 9.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
So
I think you gave my Cayman a 7.5.
I did give it a 7.5. I was like, 8 is a little bit much for your car, but I agree with you on the car that you
And I
rated.
love my car,
That
but-
was it, because a 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I mean, a 10 is like supercar
You gotta think a
territory.
G993
like,
GT2 is a 9 or a 10.
You're talking about, that's a serious
Yeah.
rating. So
Somebody asked me that
Yeah.
one time, and I said a 10 to me is either supercar or a museum car.
Yeah. Nothing should really get a 10
But
except like
I think an
craziest
8
best.
is. I think you were.
I
spot
love
on.
that car. Don't get me
I
wrong.
think I think you're spot on with that. But I think where you got, some of the flack was maybe daily driving. You gave it like a 6 or something like that.
Yeah, it's it could have been a little bit more for daily drive because 993 is easy to daily drive. But again, it's kind of like it's got the suspension. 6.5 is decent.
And that's what people have to remember.
Yeah.
You're rating that car, that
Yes.
specific 993 with that suspension, with those wheels, and whatever condition that it's in.
Yep.
And sometimes people think, well, he's rating my 993, right?
We haven't
And
driven a totally stock
Yeah,
993
yeah.
yet,
We're not rating every
But
993.
Christoph, this is like us taking your girlfriend out
Oh,
for a
gosh.
date.
Okay.
And then saying,
For 1
No,
mile.
no.
Fun
Maybe we
fact
give
here.
you our impressions.
You see how he loves to go up to that line just to get my
Well, I'm trying
my
to make
blood
him
pressure
understand because
up.
he doesn't understand these videos.
He's
never seen them.
understanding just fine. You just need to stay in your lane.
No, but it was a great car. But the comments, just told me that we have, I guess people who watch YouTube really love 993s. I guess 993 owners are on YouTube, the
Well, here's-
enthusiastic ones.
Well,
Here's-
it made it the Ren list.
So-
They posted on Ren list.
Oh, really?
And so maybe people that normally watch the 1 mile review
I see.
got to see it. So
The one comment that was on there that I didn't agree with is, I think you all know I love the MY02 wheels, which are 99602 wheels, which are the lightest 18-inch Carrera lightweight wheels, right? Or they're just the lightest, the lightest
Very,
wheels,
very light wheels.
very lightest wheels that Porsche has made, and not, except for the supercar stuff, right?
Yeah.
That wheel on the 993 to me looks amazing. Like I feel it looks good on that car, but I guess
Yeah.
because that never came on a 993, purists are like, you can't put a 996 wheel on it. But that Carrera lightweight wheel is just
I
a
think it looks
beautiful
good.
wheel. It looks fantastic.
Sometimes 996 and 997 wheels don't look great on older cars, but this is a case, in my opinion, where
I thought
that wheel looks good on that car.
That wheel, because it's a very simple 5-spoke design.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Awesome car. I know a lot of you didn't agree with the ratings, and a stock 993 in great condition is going to rate higher in certain areas and lower in others, et cetera, et cetera.
I wonder if we gave terrible numbers to a car, we would get more views.
We'll see. What do you think a Cayenne Platinum gets for car show?
Oh man, Cayenne Platinum for car show is going to get to me a 2.
A 2?
So I didn't go 2. I went 3.5 because great car, and we got so many comments about how good it looks. But
you don't agree with me that it should be a 2? That's not a 2. A 2.
I could see that.
It is a base SUV.
It's not a car show car.
It's not a car show car.
Is the car wrecked?
No. So the only reason why I would say 1 is if the car was damaged.
Is it upside down? A 2.
Am I being too harsh? I don't think so.
A 2.
So I think by 3.5, then it sounds like 3.5 is fair.
That's
But 9.5 for daily driving and road trip, it scored really well everywhere.
If it rolled up to a car show, you would pass it and tell it to go park with.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh my God.
Oh, Manny wouldn't, I guess.
Manny all of a sudden is what?
It's a Porsche.
I'm not saying it's not a Porsche, and I'm not
If
saying
it was
it's
a
not a
Dodge
great
Caravan,
car.
yes, I would go tell you to go park
a
somewhere.
white base model Cayenne coming to a car show is a.
But oh my God, you have gotten so
Oh, you call me bougie
uppity
now?
here.
Hey, let's call it jaded.
I'm just speaking the truth, brother. It's Kristoff. Am I right or wrong? Oh, you're wearing your uniform today, so he probably shouldn't.
He's holding his fingers, just praying for this to end.
I think you'll agree that a Cayenne Platinum is a 9.5 out of 10 for daily driving and road trip.
Absolutely. I will
There
say
we go.
yeah.
There we go.
That's so, and I think that's what I love about our scores is when it scores very low in one particular category,
Here's why
it can score very high on another.
Because if that was the Cayenne was the only car in the parking lot, you would walk up and talk to the person. But now you're saying that at Cars and Coffee, you would tell her to go park somewhere else.
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I would tell it to go park somewhere else, but it's not going to be anywhere near the front of the car show. It's going to be at the back line of the car show.
All right, remember, Cayenne owners, send your hate mail
No, I'm not.
to Vu Gwyn.
Even, what did I drive here? I drove here in my Cayenne, and if I pulled my Cayenne up to a car show, right, I wouldn't expect to be parked up front. I wouldn't be expected to be
Oh, and
parked
that's
in the
not front,
middle.
but number 2 is by the dumpster.
Honestly, I would park it in towards the back.
That's like number 2. You see those porta pots, portable bathrooms, you're parking there.
Look, I'm not hating on the Cayenne because you know I love the Cayenne. I'm just saying.
Wow. That is harsh.
Saying from a car show rating.
And you judged a beauty pageant one time? Wow. I want to go back and watch that video.
All right, let's move on. Some of the favorite cars, money no object. Do you remember some of those? I think
Carrera GT for me.
Well, the readers, our listeners rather.
Yeah, and this was because Doug DeMuro recently bought a Carrera GT, his dream car. So we kind of felt like going through that exercise ourselves if we had the money, right?
We don't have internet access. I don't think to be able to bring that up.
Well, we appreciate everybody chiming in. We did read all of them. I know, again, our buddy Paul had a Ferrari 288 GTO.
Which I'm surprised he didn't pick the 63 GTO.
I am clueless when it comes to the difference.
Yeah, Ferraris.
The 63 is the most valuable, I think, the car that's ever been auctioned off. It's the
is that the one we saw at Monterey?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I was thinking of Porsche. I wasn't really thinking of just anything.
You know what? Paul is probably thinking that the more valuable one, it's too valuable. He's going to drive it less, right? So he's going with the one the daily Ferrari, the daily GTO.
No.
I mean, I like the 288 GTO.
Yeah,
that's pretty, but it looks so much like a 308. It's well, we had a 550, 57 Ferrari Testarossa. That's a good one too.
That's a good one.
Maserati Tipo 61.
Yeah.
That's another one. 904 GTS.
Oh yeah.
We can fit in that.
So you know what's cool, and we were talking about this at lunch today, is at the end of the day, yes, we love Porsches, and a lot of us have Porsches, but we're car people. We just love cars, and it could be any brand, and I can appreciate some of these cars that they
You
listed.
cannot walk back on your number 2 for a Cayenne, so don't even try.
All right, so let's talk about the 914.6 GT video. That seems to be doing pretty well.
You know, so I think there's a little bit of something for everybody there. If you like the information about this car, you want to learn about a 914.6 GT race car, then you'll watch that video on our YouTube channel. And Bob does an excellent job of going through all the details about what makes that car what it is, and really a great race car. But then there are those people who might not care about all that stuff and just skip to the end of the video, and somehow we caught the sound of that car really, really, really well.
I think
better
that's
than
what,
I expected.
That's what I was going to talk to you later about.
Yeah.
Is when we do these one-mile reviews, is we got to add an extra mic or something that you can kind of mix in the true exhaust sound of the car, because I think that's what made that video, is when he gets on the on ramp or off ramp or whatever it is and changing pitches of that engine. Like that was so cool. That was a treat, because you can learn about a car, but to actually hear it in motion, like that's pretty cool.
That was such a loud car that had a lot to do with it, but we'll have to figure something out, because that really changed the video. And I think without that section of it being driven on the street with all the sounds, not quite as compelling of a watch. But as it stands, go watch if you want to learn more, or just skip to, I think, like 28 minutes and watch the end.
Are we going to have ever a video where we show all the stuff we weren't allowed to show?
Moving on. So you know what the comment I was waiting for, because the comment that we had about our dad jeans, I was waiting for the comment about Bob Miller's cargo shorts.
Yes, and he knows. I've talked to him about him and his legs.
That was filmed a little while ago, so we've changed a few things.
I told him he has to dress up.
So in the news, let's talk about latest news. Oh, the Macan EV. We were just talking about EV.
Yeah, basically, I know you can't talk about this because it still hasn't been formally announced, but the Macan EV, everyone's saying 2024 it's going to come out. They're still going to be making a gas version, but they're not going to be developing a gas version anymore. It'll stay on for a couple of years, but probably just maybe like a platinum edition, different options. But the EV is what everyone's excited about, because Macan is the best-selling Porsche that they have, and for an EV, it's going to be pretty interesting. They say it's going to be more rear wheel, even though it's going to be dual motor. It's going to be more biased towards the rear, I guess, to give it more of a Porsche feel.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. And of course, everybody's working right now is on the quickness of the charging network, and how quickly the battery can be charged, because as that time gets cut down, I think electric vehicles are going to become more and more commonplace. Right now, obviously, people say, well, I can fill up my gas tank in less than 5 minutes. Why should I wait 45 minutes to charge my car battery? So that's just something that Macans have been seen testing, and there's been spy photos, and with theorizing which different batteries they've been using. So keep on waiting. It's going to be
here sooner than you think.
Yeah, it's going to look like a Macan.
Yeah.
Or at least the spy photos, it looks like a Macan. Does it look like a Macan to you think? Okay.
You're doing great, Kristoff. You're doing great. All right, the next one, engineering, Sebastian Studner? I didn't read it. What was that about?
Surfing.
The next Walter Cronkite right here.
What was that one about?
It's pretty interesting. So he's a surfer who's working with Porsche Engineering.
Oh.
And they're developing a surfboard that's aerodynamically, and it cuts through the water quicker, as well as looking at a stance for the wind tunnel. It's very cool. If you get a chance, I would Google it we'll put it maybe in our description, a link to this story. But it just shows what Porsche Engineering does, which is, beyond just cars. They do a lot of contract work, but they're working with a surfer into developing this surfboard that will cut through the water faster and work with the way he stands on a surfboard.
Well, that's cool.
It's a pretty interesting story.
I didn't see that one. I saw the one about the e-bikes, and they're going deeper into the e-bike world. Porsche is. So, yeah, not only e-bikes, but now surfboards as well, I see.
Now I wonder when Porsche's going to get into building bobsleds.
I thought they already did.
Like BMW?
Oh, it was BMW.
Yeah,
had
it was
bobsled.
BMW.
It was
I'm
bobsled.
surprised I didn't get a reaction out of that.
I was thinking, I don't think they were ever at the Olympics.
No, I'm
weren't they?
thinking of the
Yeah.
ski. Didn't they Porsche ski
BMW
bob?
had them at the Olympics, right?
So yeah. So BMW has the
They German
bobsled.
bobsled team, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they're going for surfing. I
So
guess.
so it's just a quick,
Yeah.
off tangent here. So the U.S. Bobsled team, my wife's sister's nephew is on the U.S. bobsled
You
team.
follow
Oh,
that,
dang.
Kristoff? My wife's sister's nephew.
My wife's sister's nephew is.
Are
on
you
the
even
US
related?
Not by blood.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
by
true.
blood. And so he and his brother were swimmers and then musicians, but they're like super athletic. And he's
What's his position called?
he did powerlifting. I guess that's a thing. Powerlifting.
But each person in that bobsled has a position name.
Yes, and I don't know where he is
That's
in
where
the
your
position.
news story ends.
Yeah, my news story ends. I didn't go that deep. I'm not Walter Cronkite. Had I known I was going to be talking about today, I would have prepared, but I didn't know that was going to come up. All right, and you're talking about Taycan facelift, new headlights. Do we have photos of that, or is it covered up?
Of course, they're doing a facelift, and it's so hard to tell when you see these spy shots about what the car is really going to look like. But this is a tri-motor one. That's what I'm excited about. I can't wait to see where it has the 2 rear motors and 1 front. So that's going to be that's the one they're thinking is going to be like a GT type. It's going to be called. It's going to be the higher level.
Taycan Turbo.
Blake, if it's true.
Breathe, Blake.
So quiet at
He's
the
so
moment,
quiet
I
at
know.
the moment.
Taycan Turbo GT, right?
Yes, yeah, why
Maybe.
not? Sounds good. I love the Taycan. I think it's such a perfectly proportioned car. I can't wait
It's
till
a
we
good
get our
size.
press vehicle.
It's the right size.
I love concept of electric cars. I don't think they're ready yet for long trips, but for going to work every day, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. So I did not tune in to the Super Bowl, but I do know that the advertising for
You
Transformers.
know who won?
The Chiefs did?
Yes.
Robert's like banging his head right now.
I had to think about that for a sec,
I was
too.
on an airplane. I was on an airplane.
Do you know who played at the halftime show?
Rihanna.
He knows that.
I
He
did.
knows
The halftime show. I do know.
What was her big news?
She's pregnant.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
You're making a very good point there. And I know more about the halftime show than the football. So be it. But what I'm
And
talking
by the way,
about.
don't bring that up because there's a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans coming tomorrow.
Oh, really?
So I'm sure they're kind of, this is like,
yeah, true.
remember, we passed by Philly on the way up.
Oh,
here,
yeah. They might be
so
sensitive
they're
to
probably
it.
a little bit sore.
Gotcha. But the Transformer ad and the 964.
Yes, that's a lot of people got.
They paid a lot of bucks for
even
that.
like Don
Transformer.
was his mother.
Yeah.
Sent him a text message when she saw the commercial for Transformers in the Porsche.
So now I could talk about it because I've known that for quite a while about Mirage and being in the movie and stuff like that. So it's cool that I can talk about it with people now. But the thing is, the car, and Damon brought this up earlier today, is if you look at it carefully.
Well, that's not a correct bumper.
Well, yeah. So
The
a
bumper,
lot of the
wheel
cars,
offsets.
a lot of the cars that you'll see in the movie and in the commercial, it's supposed to be a 964, but it's not exactly right. So the question is, for those of you that are on the inside, I believe it's a lot of like maybe 80s G
First of all,
body
the
cars.
3.8 RS is an incredibly rare car.
I was going to say that.
And
that-
valuable.
That is not a 3.8.
No, but that's what
yeah.
everyone's calling it.
That's what Porsche's calling it on their YouTube channel for that ad. So when I saw that, and Bogdan texted me just to get a second set of eyes on a social media post, and he said it was a Carrera RS 3.8. I'm like, that's not a Carrera RS 3.8. And then he sent me the link to the video, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I stand corrected. But it's not for real. It can't be.
It's Hollywood, and they
Can't
have like 5 of them that they're gonna wreck. There's no way that's
Yeah.
a real 3.8 RS.
Yeah.
And maybe the hero car that they take around,
Yeah.
perhaps they bought one. I don't know. Maybe we should find out.
We're not hating on the movie. It's just that Porsche enthusiasts like that
We know those
stands
details.
out like
Yeah.
immediately.
No, I got kind of tired of the movies after the first one.
Yeah,
Was there really that many unanswered questions after the first one?
No.
Him, food, movies. He has very strong opinions on. I'm gonna go see it.
Oh, I know you will.
Of course I will.
Well, I think we should make it another office field trip.
Oh, you liked it when we went on the other field
Well,
trip?
heck, we went to go see Top Gun also we could watch 3 seconds of a 9/11.
That was pretty good, right? Everyone had
That
a
was
great
fun.
time.
That was a good time.
You guys have a fantastic boss. Let me just say
We
that.
do. Does Boris take you guys out to the movies?
Unfortunately,
I
not.
will
You
talk.
see?
We'll talk.
You see?
We'll talk to him.
It's a
I'm
good
one
idea,
up
good
to
idea.
Boris Appenbrink.
Has he taught you about the fourth meal or anything?
Oh,
No?
you'll
No,
learn
you'll
about
learn
the
that.
fourth meal this weekend.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about upcoming events. We will be at Works Reunion Amelia Island March 3rd. I think entering a car in Corral or Jojo. That's all.
You
forever
skipped
and
over
done.
my Ren Sport update. You don't want to make Michael Tam and
Oh, where did you?
didn't I put it on the schedule?
No, I don't see anything about Ren Sport.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
let's
see
make
nothing.
let's make Michael and Abe, making a shout out to Abe who worked for Porsche, who I found out listened to the podcast.
Yes,
They
he
get-
does.
They get very nervous when I give updates of stuff I'm going to say that shouldn't be said. But it was announced that the new website is out.
Yep.
For Renside. I believe it's Porsche RenSportReunion.com. I don't know why they didn't just call it Ren Sport Reunion unless someone already owns that URL, but it's Porsche RenSportReunion.com. And they're going to have an app coming out soon. If you're going to the event, I highly suggest you download this app. It will have the updated schedule because somebody already asked about the schedule. Porsche controls the schedule, so it'll be on the website, but it'll also be on the app. And the app is very nice to have because it keeps lets you know of all the fun things that are happening each day. They are, I think, almost finished laying out where the corrals are going to be. That's going to be exciting for us, so we can start planning. I can't stress enough how much the folks in Atlanta and Germany are so excited about this event, and they want to make it the best ever Ren Sport that they've ever had. It's fun, and listening to the planning calls about all the things they're working on. Some stuff probably won't happen because of just logistics, but the fact that they're trying to make this happen says a lot.
And I think we've said it before. Every cent that they're making off of this event,
Yeah,
they're putting it right back into the event. In some ways, I feel like they want to make this obviously they want to make it iconic, but almost like the Woodstock for Porsche people. Like if you were there, that was cool that you were
Well,
there.
the good part of Woodstock, not the bad part. Not the mud,
part.
not the naked people. It's just
No, but just the whole idea of like this is the one you don't want to miss, and they're gonna go, go full throttle on pretty much everything from entertainment to the cars to the vehicles to the drivers, all the historical stuff. I mean, they're gonna bring everything out.
Yeah, and like I've been saying, it's worth it alone just for the drivers to come listen to
Yeah.
the drivers, the engineers, the personalities in Porsche, and hear their stories about how this stuff. We're looking at this car behind us, and the theme was from the '84 Paris-Dakar Rally, and more than likely Jackie X will be there, who drove in the Paris-Dakar Rally, and to hear him tell the stories about what it was like to drive in that rally, these folks aren't going to be around forever. So
Yeah,
it's
and I
great while
will
they're still alive.
again. If you're not, don't feel bad if you're not going to be able to bring your Porsche. Don't feel bad if you haven't already gotten your corral ticket. Even if you have to fly and get in a rental Hyundai to be there, it's okay. You're still going to have an amazing time.
Are you coming, Kristoff?
Would be great.
We'll talk to Boris.
All right, so like I said, we'll be at Works Reunion March 3rd. Hopefully see you all there. Registration to be in the judge or corral areas is sold out, but you can always come and spectate. $40 to park. It's per car, not per person. And then Manny will be at the 12 Hours of Sebring with the 963, right?
Both the WEC 963 and the IMSA 963. Be 2 races in 3 days, 2 days, something like that. It's WEC is 1,000 miles, I think.
And if any of you see him in, what's it called, the green zone? What's it called?
Yes.
Yeah, let me know because he's not allowed to go into the green zone.
No, I'll be escorted properly.
Yes, kind of property.
You know what the green zone is? You know what Sebring, the racetrack, famous racetrack in Florida where they have the 12-hour race. During the race, they have this area called the green zone. And then when the sun goes down, I think they even do it during daytime, but mainly when the sun goes down, it becomes very wild.
It's wild.
When
and
we
crazy.
went one time, they would not let us take the Porsche vehicles
Into the
through
green.
there unless the police came with us.
Yep. And people were really strapping furniture to the top of their vehicles so that they could have like a sectional couch in the middle of the field.
And then they could burn it.
And then they burn it. They know it's coming in, but it's not going to come out. It's crazy. Wild and crazy. Now, speaking of wild, Wilderness Trail SUV
Oh, so
Day.
I added some regional events I figured we'd highlight. Yeah, they're having an SUV day.
We can't talk about this one because that's not CI. Wilderness Trail, anyway. So Wilderness Trail.
No, what the one that was pancakes and what was it? Is that the one from Wisconsin?
Yes, they can't have that name.
Oh, well, all right. Let's not say the manufacturer's name.
Okay.
But it's Kringles. You know what a Kringle is?
No.
That's why I brought it up.
What's a Kringle? Is it a pancake?
It is like I want to go just to try this thing.
Uh-huh.
The Central Wisconsin region's hosting it. It's like a carbon coffee they do several times a year. But it's Kringle is like
Wait, let me stop you real
It's a
quick.
sweet pretzel.
Let me stop you real quick because you see food and you skip over everything. You got finished the whole Wilderness Trail Day. That's April 1st.
yes, that's an SUV day.
Is that for everybody or just in Wilderness
Well, they're
Trail?
saying you can bring your 911, so I don't think it's a very severe off-road
Okay.
thing. But yeah, they mentioned you can bring your Panamera too.
Oh, so you're
But
saying
they
a
stress
cool
that
event.
the SUVs will have the lead.
Okay.
So where usually they sometimes put the SUVs in the back, the Cayennes.
So
and
that's
the
kind of
Towns are gonna
cool.
be in the front.
So the Chesapeake region did sort of a light
Yes.
off-road
Yeah.
thing. We did that in our Cayenne. That was a lot of
Remember
fun.
that time we went to New Mexico and Escape? We did that with
Yes,
the
we
rental.
did.
We rented a.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. That's right.
No, we didn't.
I can't even remember what rental car company we rented it from.
No, we didn't.
Anyways, we were in this SUV because we thought we were going off-road and we needed an SUV.
We had Jeeps with big knobby tires. We had
Rubicons and
Rubicons.
Cayennes
We
that
had
were lifted.
Cayennes. We 30 minutes into the trail, we get to the summit.
We take a picture, we park all the Porsches, and we had to make sure we parked the Porsches so that we blocked the Toyota Camry that was parked there.
Some guy in a Camry took it up the same trail and made it there no
I was
problem.
like, we could have rented a Camry and saved a lot of money instead of renting
I should say,
SUV.
my Camry is
Oh,
meant
gosh,
to go
here you
off
go.
road.
There you go. You gave David a lead in.
You
there.
know, Boris got to see Damon's Camry that he has. That
Oh, you saw it. How did you like
he
it?
rescued it from the bottom of the ocean. No, I don't think Kristoff hadn't seen
Oh,
it. But
Boris,
saw
yeah,
it. Remember,
Boris,
Boris
yeah.
saw it in Amelia Island.
He was taking pictures of it.
Yes,
Crazy
he
enough.
was getting ideas for exclusives.
Yeah.
The Rust package.
Yeah,
Rust
the Rust
package.
package. Yeah.
All right, so back to your Kringle. What's a Kringle?
Anyways, it's like a sweet pretzel. I'd never
Oh.
heard of it. I had to Google it.
Auntie Anne's cinnamon sugar pretzel.
Is that what that is?
Is that a Kringle?
They don't say Kringle on the Auntie
No,
Anne's.
they don't. They don't call it a Kringle.
I don't know. It's the same thing. Maybe people from Central Wisconsin can
I'll
clarify
have
if
to,
this is the same.
Ask my family.
If I'm going to Central Wisconsin, I'm having cheese curds.
You can still have that. You don't have to.
Cheese
cheese
curds
curds
It
are
doesn't
the
have to be
best.
one or the other.
We have both.
It's
Is it almost dinner
it's like
time? Are we
dinner, I
talking
was gonna
about food
say.
It
already?
is almost dinner time.
Yeah, we're eating.
Kringle,
Italian.
Northern European pastry, a variety of pretzel.
Oh,
See?
there you go.
Interesting.
You guys.
See,
You can
Kristoff,
pretzel.
didn't I tell you at some point in this podcast we're going to have a culinary discussion? And of course, Manny brings up a Kringle, so we've learned
That's
something
what
new.
got my attention. I was looking for upcoming events. I saw. I said, "What in the world's a Kringle?"
What in the world's a Kringle? All right. Anything else before we sign off? Kristoff, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me here.
We'll have a great time this weekend. Looking forward to it, and folks will.
And watch the Tech Tactics with Kristoff presenting the
Yep.
Dakar
We're going
Rallye
to be recording
Package.
at least 4 sessions and throwing them up there for everyone to see on YouTube. So thank you for listening, everyone. If you aren't currently a PCA member and you own a Porsche, grab that VIN, head to PCA.org and become a member. If you are looking for a Porsche, we have the test drive program. Again, just go to PCA.org for the details there. And if you'd like, join us on our podcast Instagram page, behind-the-scenes photos and videos, Porsche Club Insider, all one word. Always love seeing your messages. Appreciate the likes and, of course, the subscribes. If you want to email us anything, you can email to podcast@pca.org. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll catch you down the road.